Is there such a thing like a school for business owners? Do you know any school where you as an entrepreneur can learn how to do your job? That's the main problem that many of the entrepreneurs that ask me for help, we in Digital Coach, me, Luca Papa, and Digital Coach, all the entrepreneurs that ask us some help have the same problem. They are doing a job, but nobody teach them how to do their job. And most of them are very skilled from a study point of view, but they never had the opportunity to go in a school for entrepreneurs. So in this video, I will try, Luca Papa and Digital Coach, to explain you what you can do once you realize the fact that you need for help for your learning as an entrepreneur. I want to begin with my story because I'm also an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 20-25 years. I would say the overall my life I've been an online entrepreneur, so is a specific kind of entrepreneur, an online entrepreneur, and had the same problems and the same difficulties that you probably are facing right now. In my past, I also had to face probably the same challenges that you're facing right now. What is my story, my experience? First of all, I studied economy at the university, in the best business school in Italy, that is Bocconi University. Is internationally recognized as one of the 10 most effective business school in the top 10 worldwide. And when I get that kind of university, I thought that they would teach me how to become a good entrepreneur, because I already knew I knew what I wanted to do in my life. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I had clear that idea before beginning the university. So I enrolled in the economy university with the idea that will teach me everything I need to become a good entrepreneur. The reality is that even if my university was very good compared to other universities, the reality is that I spent 4 years studying a lot of things that are not so useful for an entrepreneur. I mean, I studied also marketing, I studied also, I would say, marketing, but no, I didn't study sales, and that is the most important part of any business. I didn't study nothing related to digital marketing, technology, all those things. So they don't teach you what you really need. They don't teach you from a practical and pragmatical point of view, the point of view that any entrepreneurs need, because I don't need the theory of what I should do in marketing, like the Kotler theory. I need the practical side, how for example, I get customers from Google, from Facebook, from YouTube, and there's nothing to do with traditional marketing, as I can say. So the problem is that even if you go in the best scenario, you study economy, you still don't know nothing about being a good entrepreneur. If you study something different, the situation is even worse. And the majority of entrepreneurs, they start up their business because they are, for example, a doctor, and they begin a business related to health, for example. They are a technician, they start up a business based on their technical skills. But they don't know how to become a good business owner, a good entrepreneur, especially a very good digital entrepreneur. So how business owners usually learn? Most of the time, a business owner learn things through his experience on field. And the main way to learn is just to do things and try to learn how to improve the way they are doing things. This is still trial and error. This is the trial and error strategy. It's still a good strategy. I mean, I don't mean that you don't have to do that. The problem with that strategy is that it takes a lot of time to learn from trial and error. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of frustration because you make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes you fall down and you don't know how to begin again. You don't have the motivation to start up again because the failure affected you too much. And then there is also the problem that is very slow as a process, and you can wait all those years in order to learn and understand what is the best way to do every part of the business that you have to manage. That's the real problem. What is the next option that you have as a business owner once you want to learn something? Now, especially in the last few years, you got the opportunity to do a lot of training, especially training online. There are a lot of information online, also on YouTube. There are a lot of information. You can get some information from one trainer, one I can say influencer explain you something. Then you go to another channel, you get some information from another one. Once you get all those information, the real problem that you as an entrepreneur have is that you have a lot of different sources, too many sources. And the problem is that since it's very easy to communicate online, everybody, also the last guy that came out from his garage, can try to teach you something, and you don't know if you have to listen this guy or the other guy, of this influencer or the other influencer. And most of the time you are very confused because there are too many of them, because most of them, they propose you different strategies, different things, different options. So at the end you don't even start because you are confused. I go here or go there. Or sometimes you create a strategy that is a mix between one thing that told you one guy, the other thing that told you another influencer, but they are not put it together in the right way. So this is the problem with the information online. Then you have the next strategy. The next strategy is to buy an online course. At least the difference between free information and online course is that you chose carefully the course that you are buying, and you chose to trust one single trainer, one single influencer. That is better to listen to too many of them. It's much better to listen to one and to follow his approach. The problem with the training, also paid training, is that it's very helpful. I would suggest you to do it. It's very helpful and everything. But the problem for entrepreneurs is that at the end, entrepreneurs don't have so much time to study, first of all. So to attend courses, you don't have time, and time for you is money. Second problem is that most of the time you don't know how to, execute what they are explaining you in the course, to execute it in your daily business, in your day-to-day activities. So you lack the implementation part of the business. This is very important for every business owner, obviously. And then the other problem is that you don't have a control. And since you are continuously defocused by what happens in your daily entrepreneur life, business owner life, and continuously subjected to people that bring you somewhere, another place, and so on, the problem is that it's very difficult for you, even if you make a plan, to keep on track with that plan. It's very, very difficult. So what is the best option for an entrepreneur, a business owner, to learn, avoiding all those mistakes, avoiding all those problems that I summarized you in the previous points? The best solution, I would say, is a digital coaching solution. That's what we do in Digital Coach. The name tells you everything. Explains everything. Digital coaching solution. What do we do in Digital Coach once we want to help an entrepreneur to learn what he need in order to increase his profit and also make bigger his profit? What we do is digital coaching. What does that mean? We still train the entrepreneurs, so there's some part of training, but training is very fast and very short because we know that entrepreneurs don't have the time that their employees have. So there's a very fast training part of what we do with the specific contents for entrepreneurs to get right to the point. But after that is not enough, because it's not enough even if I can summarize all the content for you. It's not enough just to get some content. Our methodology is based also on coaching, as I told you, digital and coaching. So we teach you digital marketing, digital sales, digital business, digital strategy, everything you need to make a very good and profitable online business. But then also we coach you. So what does that mean? You have a blending version where you have some content every week, but at the same time you also have every week some implementation task to implement. So you have to act. You have an action plan each week or something you have to do after looking at our training videos. And then you also have a weekly appointment with our coaches. With that weekly appointment, you are committed to follow up with everything you put in your action plan. And you are also committed to, to put in practice everything you learn. And with the coach, you are more responsible in the execution of the plan, and also you can ask for his help, his point of view, his suggestions, his feedback, and that's very useful. Because at the end, the real problem of every entrepreneur is also that the entrepreneurs are alone. And being alone is not easy and is not productive. That's the real thing. So if you like the idea of considering our help, you can just ask us here in the description to organize a free consultation, 1 hour consultation with one of our coaches. We will ask you some questions about your business, and then we will tell you what are the main steps that you have to make in order to make your business more profitable, increasing sales and reducing cost. At the end, the final idea and the final result that you can get with us is more revenues with less problems and making everything easier in your entrepreneurial life. So as a business owner, you don't have just to increase your profits, you also have to improve the quality of your life. That's what we do with you. Ask for our consultation. It's free. So I will see you soon. Bye bye, Luca.